Good morning. Today's topic is glossopharyngeal nerve. It is the ninth cranial nerve and it is a mixed nerve, means it carries both sensory and motor fibers. What is the origin? These are the olives of the medulla and pyramids of the medulla. And the glossopharyngeal nerve arises behind the olive or lateral aspect of the upper part of the medulla. So it arises from lateral aspect of upper part of the medulla just behind the olive, and it arises as multiple rootlets, but soon after its emergence it fuses to form single trunk, and this trunk of the ninth nerve have two ganglia, superior and inferior ganglia. We will see in subsequent pictures. What is the course? It leaves the cranial cavity by passing through anterior part of the jugular foramen. So here is the picture of the interior of the skull and base of the skull. You can see the green color, that is the structure passing through jugular foramen. It is on either side of the foramen magnum. So along with the glossopharyngeal nerve, the vagus nerve, accessory nerve also pass through the jugular foramen, but glossopharyngeal nerve pass through anterior part of the jugular foramen. So here is the overall picture showing the posterior cranial fossa having the cerebellum, then your transverse sinus, sigmoid sinus continuing as internal jugular vein passing through jugular foramen along with the 9, 10 and 11th cranial nerves. So here is the inferior petrosal sinus. It passes through jugular foramen, and within the foramen it joins with the internal jugular vein. So and the ninth nerve, glossopharyngeal nerve, occupying the anterior compartment of the jugular foramen. 10th and 11th nerve occupies the middle compartment of jugular foramen. So after emerging from the jugular foramen, it appears in the neck. So it appears in the neck between the internal carotid artery and the internal jugular vein. Then it starts running infrolaterally, that is downwards and laterally, and appears between external and internal carotid artery. Then it reaches the lateral surface of the stylopharyngeus muscle. Stylopharyngeus muscle extends from styloid process to thyroid cartilage. Then the nerve terminates by dividing into multiple branches like lingual, tonsil and pharyngeal branches. So what are the branches? First branch is tympanic branch. It is also called as Jacobson's nerve. It carries secretomotor fibers, that is parasympathetic fibers, to the parotid gland. It also carries afferent fibers carrying general sensations from tympanic membrane and middle ear. So it has both afferent and efferent. So this secretomotor fibers to the parotid is general visceral efferent fibers. Okay, remember all parasympathetic secretomotor comes under functional component called general visceral efferent, and this general sensation from tympanic membrane, it comes under the functional component called general visceral afferent. So let us see the secretomotor pathway in detail. It is very much important. So here is the glossopharyngeal nerve exiting through jugular foramen. Then it gives tympanic branch which joins the tympanic plexus. From the tympanic plexus, now it emerges as lesser petrosal nerve. This lesser petrosal nerve then reaches the otic ganglion. After passing through otic ganglion, it joins the auriculotemporal nerve and supplies the parotid gland. The preganglionic fibers arise from inferior salivatory nucleus. From inferior salivatory nucleus, the glossopharyngeal nerve fibers arises and gives tympanic branch, reaches the tympanic plexus, emerges as lesser petrosal nerve, reaches otic ganglion, then postganglionic fibers pass through auriculotemporal nerve to supply the parotid gland. The next branch is to carotid body and sinus, which is situated at the bifurcation of common carotid artery. It carries afferent fibers, afferent sensory fibers from the carotid body and sinus. So it has baroreception. This component is general visceral afferent. Can you remember what is the efferent for baroreceptive reflexes and find it out? The next branches, pharyngeal branches and tonsillar branches. The pharyngeal branch takes part in pharyngeal plexus with the 10th and 11th nerves. So it carries general sensation from the pharynx. So this comes under the component general visceral afferent. The tonsillar branch carries general sensation from the tonsil, fasces and palate. So this is also comes under general visceral afferent. So now try to remember what is the efferent. Okay, these are the afferents through the glossopharyngeal nerve. These are afferents for the gag reflex. So what is the efferent for gag reflex? Okay, lingual branches. The lingual branches carry fibers of both taste sensation and general sensation from posterior 1/3 of the tongue. The fibers which carry taste sensation from the posterior 1/3 of tongue have their cell body at the inferior ganglion of the nerve, and this comes under special visceral afferent as the functional component, and the general sensation comes under general visceral afferent. So what is general somatic afferent? And this is a controversial topic, as some book says there is general somatic afferent, and while some doesn't accept it as a functional component here. So if it presents, the general somatic afferent means the pain and temperature sensation from all these structures, pharynx, posterior 1/3 of the tongue and tonsils, ear, they reach the spinal nucleus of the trigeminal nerve, and it is termed as general somatic afferent. The next branches to the stylopharyngeus. So this is a muscle derived from the pharyngeal arch. This is a branch which is called as branchiomotor branch. So the component is special visceral afferent. Remember, always the branchiomotor comes under special visceral afferent. So what are the nuclei involved or nuclei of the glossopharyngeal nerve? The first nucleus is nucleus ambiguus. It is a common nuclei for both 9th, 10th and 11th nerves. It is located in the medulla. You can see the brown colored shaded area, nucleus ambiguus. So it is purely motor, which supplies the muscles derived from pharyngeal arch. So here what is the muscle supplied by glossopharyngeal nerve? That is stylopharyngeus. So the functional component involved is special visceral afferent. The next nucleus is nucleus tractus solitarius. So we remember nucleus tractus solitarius when we get nausea or vomiting, because it is associated with general and taste sensation from the tongue. So this is common for 7th, 9th and 10th nerve. This is also located in the medulla. This nucleus is concerned with sensory fibers, not motor. So it carries or it receives afferents carrying general sensation and special sensation, that is general visceral afferent and special visceral afferent. So for ninth nerve, we have fibers carrying taste sensation and general sensation from the tongue, posterior one third of the tongue. So let us see inferior salivatory nucleus first. So it is located in the pons, closely related with superior salivatory nucleus. Okay, this is exclusive for ninth cranial nerve, and it carries parasympathetic secretomotor fibers. So what is the parasympathetic here? Which supplies the parotid gland. So the component is general visceral efferent. So coming back to spinal nucleus of the trigeminal nerve. This is a nucleus exclusively or majority it deals with the fifth cranial nerve, but additionally it gives origin to few fibers of 7th, 9th and 10th nerve also. The spinal nucleus is located in pons, which extends through medulla up to second cervical spinal segment. That is why it is called a spinal nucleus of trigeminal nerve. It is purely sensory, especially it receives pain and temperature sensation. So this nucleus has the functional component of general somatic afferent. So for ninth nerve, it receives pain and temperature sensation from pharynx and ear. So to summarize, the ninth cranial nerve has sensory afferent fibers which carry general sensation from pharynx, tonsil, posterior one third of tongue, carotid body, sinus, then inner surface of tympanic membrane and middle ear, which comes under GVA. Then pain and temperature sensation from above sides, which comes under GSA to spinal nucleus. Then taste sensation from posterior one third of the tongue, which comes under SVA, special visceral afferent. Then the only motor afferent is stylopharyngeus branch, that is special visceral afferent, because it is a derivative of pharyngeal arch. And the special afferent is parasympathetic secretomotor fibers to parotid gland, which is the general visceral afferent component. So what are the applied aspects? The lesions of ninth nerve is usually seen along with lesions of 10th nerve, that is vagus nerve also, and it manifests as loss of gag reflex and loss of general sensation from pharynx, tonsil, palate and tongue, then loss of taste sensation from the posterior one third of the tongue. And due to the damage to the carotid branch, it may lead to some hypersensitivity called carotid sinus syndrome. And because the glossopharyngeal nerve supplies both your pharynx, tongue and also your middle ear and tympanic membrane, a pharyngitis can cause rougher pain in the ear. And sometimes a glomus tumor which affects the internal jugular vein can compress or irritate the ninth nerve and cause the above symptoms. Thank you.